Have you seen those beautiful sketchbook tours on YouTube where artists flip carefully through beautiful paintings and drawings and they show you their neat sketchbooks? Well, let me tell you, these are not sketches. Have you seen how great masters sketch? These are very messy studies. Most of what we see on YouTube when it comes to sketching, it's all polished, licked clean illustrations, not sketching. I don't know why, but today even the word sketching itself has a totally different meaning. I will show you what sketching is, and I will tell you 10 very practical tips on how to finally start sketching without pressure and how to be hungry for sketching even more. I just came back from Valencia, Spain, where I've been visiting an exhibition by Sorolla, the master of light. He was an obsessive sketcher. When I was in Valencia, I was sketching too, 20-something sketches a day. And now when I'm back in Amsterdam, I have this feeling that I didn't sketch enough. It's like being still hungry after a very good meal, Does it make sense? And I had 2 sketchbooks with me. I sketched everywhere, on the streets, in the parks, in the cafes, in metro. But still, it's kind of not enough. This hunger is still there, and actually, it's the most important thing when it comes to sketching. Today, I'll show you 10 practices that will make you hungry for more sketching. And these tips will help you start sketching everywhere you go. And by the end of this video, you'll understand why this hunger for sketching separates real artists who sketch from those who make illustrations in a sketchbook. But first, let me tell you about my problem in Valencia. So I was not traveling alone, I was with my partner, and here's the thing, I wanted to sketch constantly. Every corner, every shadow, every face in a cafe. But I also didn't want to be that stereotypical, unsociable and gloomy artist hunched over a notebook, ignoring the person I'm traveling with. The world is full of beautiful things we want to sketch, but we also have responsibilities, jobs, relationships, life. Sorolla, I was visiting in Spain, he was an obsessive sketcher, like many other great masters were, and they sketched constantly whenever they had a moment. And they were hungry for sketching. And when you think this life is keeping you from sketching, this life makes you hungry for sketching more. But how do you train your eye and sketch like great masters did when you only have stolen minutes? And that's what my 10 practices are really all about. These are not just tips, these are feeding strategy for your artistic hunger. Let's start with the most important one. Have your sketchbook ready. Tip number 1, have your sketchbook with you everywhere you go. But here's something nobody tells you. Don't have it in your backpack, have it ready. It's like having your phone in your pocket. When you see something beautiful, you overthink and you think, shall I get my phone and take a picture? And then when you're ready and you have your phone in your hand, the moment is gone. The sketchbook needs to be out, open, on a table in a cafe, on a bench, in a park where you're sitting, on your lap in a metro. When it's open, you don't think, you start drawing. That's how you start feeding your hunger. You start drawing with an open sketchbook. Tip number 2, have a small sketchbook. Yeah, have a small sketchbook. Now I know what you're thinking. Wouldn't a larger sketchbook give me more freedom to create and more space to draw? Yes, sure. But it also will give you more space to fail. Here's what I learned in Valencia. I don't know where you live or where you travel. And by the way, let me know where you're from. In Europe, especially in southern countries like Italy or Spain, I remember painting on plein air in Florence, and children would pass by and shout, "Pittore, pittore!" Painter, painter. And people would stop and talk to you. People notice larger things. But with a small sketchbook, people will still notice it. But they won't feel obligated to hover over you and to talk to you and ask you questions about what are you doing and what are you drawing. And most importantly, you are less likely to put pressure on yourself with a smaller sketchbook. So, small page, small commitment. Larger page, huge commitment. A lot of space to cover, And here, no stress at all. You don't have to finish anything. You can just doodle around and be imperfect. And this hunger for sketching I'm talking about is feed on freedom, not pressure. Now, my tip number 3 is a pencil, but no eraser. Don't use erasers. I know, it's kind of controversial, but listen, if you're sketching to train your eye, then why does it matter if the wrong line remains there? Nobody cares. And I promise you, in a month, you won't care about those wrong lines either, because the eraser, in the case of sketching, is a lie. It tells you how wrong you are, and it tells you that mistakes are your problem. But in sketching, these mistakes, these wrong lines, they carry more information than all these polished and licked clean illustrations we see on YouTube. And the wrong lines, they show your development, how you were searching for the right line and you finally found it. This hunger for sketching doesn't care about perfection. It cares about seeing. Now, I need to talk about something that really bothers me. When I see all those beautiful sketchbook tours on YouTube and artists are flipping carefully through pages with beautiful illustrations, these are not sketches. These are illustrations, polished and licked clean to be shown on YouTube and to make you jealous. These are not made from observation outside. They're made to impress you. And you probably think, they're so beautiful, I cannot draw like this. When I sketch, my lines are crooked. These sketches are not meant to inspire you. And here's what actually happens. The more you watch them, that beautiful illustration thing, the more you get depressed, frustrated, pressured. Because you and I, we both know that our sketchbooks, they look way too different. Look at any sketchbook by any great master, Rembrandt, Michelangelo, Sorolla. They may not have had English language difficult. They may not have had the sketchbooks we know it now, but they also sketched, and they sketched to study, not to show on YouTube. Here, I wrote something down from a dictionary. What is sketching? A rough or unfinished drawing or painting. My point exactly. So, a pretty picture in a notebook they show you, this is not sketching. It's a beautiful, finished illustration in a small format in a notebook. Okay, or in a sketchbook. So relax, sketch without pressure, and don't sketch with a goal of showing it to someone. These are just for you, not for anybody. This is your diary. Nobody's supposed to read it. Don't sketch for somebody, or God forbid, for Instagram or YouTube. Sketch for yourself. And this is what this sketching hunger produces when you're feeding it honestly. This messy page teaches me more as an artist than all those beautiful illustrations I see on YouTube. And I'll tell you that this sketching hunger doesn't perform. It doesn't show off. It learns and it teaches you. All right, now that we've cleared it up, let's talk about memory and how to build it into your sketching practice. Tip number 4, date your sketches. Write where you are, what city it is, what day it is, what country it is, what the name of the street you're at. It seems kind of simple, but we always forget it. But it's very powerful, because your sketchbook becomes your photo album, better than photo album, because sketches hold memories better than photographs. When you draw something, you look at it for minutes. Okay, 20 seconds, 30 seconds, minute, 5 minutes, 10 minutes. And you notice the light, the shadows, the shapes, the lines, everything. And the photograph, you don't notice nothing. Just a general impression. Click, and you're gone. Plus, if you want to go back and sketch more or paint on location, you know where to go, because it's all here. In this sketching hunger, it does have memory. Feed it, and it will remember everything. Now, tip number 5, pencils. I would recommend using B2 or B3. Not too soft, not too hard, just perfect. The super soft pencils, B6 or B8, they might be too soft and too messy on paper, and they won't give you the chance to create a beautiful thin line when you need it fast. I just love them for sketching. The harder pencils like HB or all other H's, they don't give you the depth, and they will scratch the paper. And if we're still talking about that sketching hunger, then this sketching hunger needs just the right tools to express itself. Now, something else about pencils, and this is my tip number 6. Hold the pencil differently. Do not hold the pencil as a pen when you write. Hold it differently, any way differently. Because when you hold a pencil as a pen, like when you're writing, your brain thinks you're writing. And your brain wants to make letters neat and accurate and correct. It wants to make symbols tight and very controlled. Hold it like this. Very loose, very different, to make more mess on paper. To make more mess on paper. And I promise you, you will notice that your lines will become different, freer, more fluid. Your lines will become gestures, not outlines, So, hold the pencil differently. This is really huge. And you know why this is important, the way you hold your pencil? Because that sketching hunger, it needs different movement, not the movement you used to. Now, when I started talking about the movement, here's my tip number 7. Create shapes, not outlines. When you see a shape, there's a shadow, there is a light spot. Just make the shapes. And this is exactly where the sketching becomes the training for your eye. Because the outlines, they are like letters we're writing. You see this in my sketchbook? This is not a building with windows. These are shapes, shadows, and lights. It's not a secret, but when you start seeing objects and everything around you just as shapes, then you start seeing as an artist. Welcome to the club. You will also notice that darker tones are closer to you and lighter tones are far away. This is real food. This is what that sketching hunger craves for, learning to see shapes. And if you want to understand shadows and know more about them, then I have a special video. So now my tip number 8 is know why are you drawing. Just ask yourself, what am I sketching for? What's my goal with my sketching? This is kind of important because when you answer this question to yourself, you will start seeing things around you and sketching things that are perfect for you to achieve that goal. I sketch to make a travel diary. I sketch to document everyday life. I sketch to improve gesture and proportions, to document all my plants in my garden. Why not? What is your goal? What do you want from sketching? And when you know why you sketch, then the world, I'm telling you, the world will reorganize itself around you to meet that purpose. And you will start noticing things that really serve your goal. And that sketching hunger, it does need directions. Otherwise, it's just wandering around with doodles. Tip number 9, note your location. Well, it kind of connects with the tip number, 4? Where exactly your sketching does, in case you need to come back. Yeah, not just for memory, to return if you'll have a chance. Now, my tip number 10, don't be jealous of travel sketchers. You know the ones, they're in Bali, Paris, Madrid, Tokyo, beautiful sketchbooks filled with very exotic locations. And you're thinking, I cannot do that. I cannot go places. I have no means. I have no money. I'm stuck here. Here's what I realized in Valencia. Travel sketching is not about exotic countries. It's about traveling through light and shadow. Think about it. If you cannot move, literally, you cannot walk, and you're stuck in your house, and you observe the same plant day after day, the same tree, for days and weeks and months. Let me ask you, how often does the light change on that tree? Morning light, noon light, golden hour, blue hour, whatever hour? This is the real journey. This is the real travel in art. Changing geographic locations might be nice, but it has absolutely nothing to do with your ability to draw and sketch. So here's my point. Don't wait till Italy or Spain happen in your life. Start sketching now, right where you're at. And let this be your point A. And just imagine when one day you reach that point B, Italy, Spain, or any other place, you will learn so much during that time of reaching that point. And then you'll be so confident with your sketching. You'll have skills. You'll have eyes that see. So, and that hunger that I felt and still feel after Valencia, it was not about Spain or the beach. It was about the sketching itself. It was about the practice. The daily feeding of my artistic eye. And that hunger for art, for sketching, for painting and drawing, you can satisfy it everywhere, really. I know what I'm talking about. So those are my 10 very practical recommendations for you to start sketching. But actually, they're all about one thing: being hungry to sketch, to draw, to paint, to create. Get yourself a small sketchbook, put yourself a B2 pencil in your pocket, and start your travels right where you are. Please let me know in a comment, where is your point A? What are you sketching today? And if you want to understand cast shadows and shadows in general, then watch my other videos. I'm Dimitri, a figurative artist in Amsterdam. See you next time. Ciao, ciao.